Hey there, friend. It is Crystal Lopez from crystalandcomp.com. How are you doing today? I hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful day. Welcome to my kitchen. If you watch some of my cooking videos or my Costco grocery hauls or Sam's grocery hauls, this is where the magic happens, right here in my kitchen. It's where I do all the cooking and bring home all of the grocery hauls and share them with you. Now, one thing that you may not know is I have been a blogger for a lot longer than I have been a YouTuber. I've only been seriously focusing on growing this YouTube channel for about a year and a half. Previous to that, I have been a blogger for 15 years at crystalandcomp.com, that website that I share with you. Let me tell you how I got started with meal planning. Years ago, I found myself in a position where I had no idea what I was gonna cook for dinner. I was completely stressed out. I was tired and exhausted, and I had a little kid looking at me, waiting for me to make him dinner while my husband worked tons of hours, and I sat on the couch what felt like all day long nursing twin babies. Let me just tell you, I went from being a mom of one to a mom of many what felt like overnight. So we are a large blended family. My husband came to the marriage with 2 kiddos. I came to the marriage with 1. And then together we had a set of twins. And then we went on to have a singleton. And then we adopted 2 little boys. That's 8 boys in case you've lost count. And then 5 years ago, we learned that my husband had a grown daughter, which is what moved us to San Antonio. Like, I share links to all of that in the description. If you will read the description up above, there's links to all of that. So that's 9 kids total, 8 boys and 1 girl. Rewind back about 16 years ago, and that is when I went from 1 child to many children overnight. And when we brought our twins home from the hospital, I thought that life was gonna be so super easy, and it was just gonna be, you know, there was nothing to worry about. I was gonna be a stay-at-home mom now. And so life was just gonna be easy, and that is not the way that things go. And one of the most difficult things for me was getting dinner on the table. And there were many nights where our younger kids were just like, it's 8 o'clock, it's a school night, it's time to eat. I have no idea what I'm feeding them. It was difficult and it was a challenge. And so I made a commitment to figure out and determine a meal plan process or method that would work for me. And then I knew that if it could work for me, it could work for any busy mom, right? So years ago, I started sharing meal plans on crystalandcomp.com. Every single week, I would share my weekly meal plan. And I did that for about 5 years. And in the process of all of that, I really honed in on how to meal plan in 5 easy steps. And that is exactly what I am going to teach you today. So I share my story with you because I want you to know that I have been in the trenches. I have been in the weeks and days where you feel like you're failing, where you feel like you can't get dinner on the table, where you feel like you are stuck in the drive-through lines all the time. You're wasting money, you're buying groceries, you're not using the groceries that you're buying, so you're wasting money. Like, it's this vicious cycle. And I'm here to tell you, I can help you get out of that, okay? So, also, I want you to know that I've put together a pack for you of a lot of different things, and the link for that is going to be pinned in the comments, but it's also going to be above in the description. So pick where you want to click in one of those places. You're going to enter your email address, and it is going to email you this pack of information. There are worksheets that are going to help you walk through the 5 steps of meal planning, and then there's also some recipes, and we'll get into all of that in just a little bit. Okay, so click that link, get your email, print your stuff out, and then let's start talking. And these are the pages that we are going to go through, okay? Are you ready? I'm telling you, this is tried and true. I used to give this talk all over Dallas when we lived in the DFW area, which we lived there until 5 years ago. I went to many different MOPS groups, which is Mothers of Preschoolers, and gave this talk all over to many different groups and ladies. I would also talk about this some when I would do morning show segments on Good Morning Texas. Whether it was talking about, you know, figuring out ways to get dinner on the table, figuring out easy recipes for your family, whatever that was. This is something that is near and dear to my heart and I'm passionate about. And I just gave this talk again last week at the MOPS group that I've been going to here in the San Antonio area. And I've gotten a couple of requests from you guys over the course of the last year where you've asked me or you've said in the comments, can you please tell me how you meal plan? Can you show me how you put your meal plan together? Absolutely. This is the perfect way to do it. About 15 years ago, probably about 12 years ago, I wrote an ebook that I sold on Amazon that was downloaded over 100,000 times. And it was this exact process, but I'm going to give it all to you today for free. So grab your printables and let's get going. Okay, so step 1 of meal planning. This is the thing that is going to make or break your meal plan. And I want you to hear me out. None of what I'm about to tell you is rocket science. You already know some of this stuff. You're just not implementing it, and you've got to change your mindset on how we make this work, okay? So, number one, you must develop a recipe criteria. And that is what this first worksheet is all about, is identifying your recipe criteria. So at first you're gonna be like, okay, I always want easy recipes, so that's my recipe criteria. No ma'am, no ma'am, back up. We're gonna work through this together, and when your meal plan isn't working, and when you're not getting dinner on the table, and when you're struggling to feed your family, and when you're going through the drive-through lines, this is what you need to come back to over and over and over again. This is where the hiccup is in your process, okay? So number one, as simple as this sounds, I want you to do this. I want you to make a list of what makes a recipe a good fit for you. So that's this first section here. What makes a recipe a good fit for you, okay? I can tell you what makes it for me. Number one, I need recipes that do not require a bunch of babysitting. I am a busy mom. I work from home, I homeschool, and I have a house full of kids. I currently have 5 kids at home, ranging in age from 16. Those twins are 16 now, ranging in age from 16 down to 6. My life is busy. I don't have time for nonsense. I know that I do not have time to stand in the kitchen and babysit a meal. So if a recipe is one that requires lots of standing and flipping and dredging and all these crazy steps and things that need to happen, and it takes 2 hours to make dinner happen, that is not a good fit for me. That's a Christmas dinner or a Father's Day dinner or an Easter dinner. That is not a Tuesday night, busy night, gotta feed my family quick dinner, okay? So I need recipes that do not require a lot of babysitting. I need recipes that are short ingredient lists. I am not looking to spend $25 to make one recipe, if at all possible. I would really like to fine tune and use common ingredients. That's another thing, common ingredients. So if it's something where I need to order a specialty ingredient online that I'm only gonna use once, and it's gonna cost me $15 to buy that one spice, and I have no idea any other way I'm gonna incorporate it into my meal planning ever again, that's not a regular weeknight meal for me. That might be a Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving recipe, but it is definitely not going on my regular weekly meal plan, okay? I need anything that uses ground turkey, anything that uses chicken. Sometimes we eat some ground beef. My kids like salmon. Those things, those are usually a sure win at my house. Anything that uses the appliances that are InstantPot or slow cooker, those are a win for me, because that implies that I can get dinner done fast, and that's what I need. I also love using my electric skillet. I'm going to show you these appliances in just a little bit and kind of tell you a little bit more about the ways that I use them and why I think they're so awesome. Those are the main things that make a recipe a good fit for my family, okay? So you're gonna write those things down here, and your list may go on and on and on, and that's great, but go ahead and write them out. Don't just keep them here in your head, because mom, you have a lot of stuff going on in your mind that you're trying to keep up with. Put it on paper. This way you can look back at it. This way you don't forget. This way when you're sitting down to create your meal plan, or we go on to do the next step of this, this is an easy way to look and see if a recipe is meeting your recipe criteria. So down in the next section, the question is, what are the deal breakers when it comes to recipes for your family? So I want you to write out what those deal breakers are right here. So for me, a deal breaker is a lot of the opposites of what I wrote above. So something that requires 10 ingredients, nope, I'm out. I'm not doing that on a regular school night or a regular weeknight. Weird ingredients, it's not gonna happen. Something that, requires like browning and then baking, and then that's too much. That is too much for me. It's too much for a weeknight. So I need to write those things down and acknowledge that those types of recipes are not going to go on my meal plan. My kids don't love tilapia. It's sad, but they don't. So those things are not gonna go on my meal plan. I have certain kids that hate corn. So if it's a casserole that includes corn, either I've got to omit the corn, or if corn is the highlight of the meal, we're skipping that. What are the things that you know are going to make dinner time a nightmare at your house? Those are the things that make it a deal breaker, and you need to capture those, right here in this list so that you have them and you can look back at them. Okay, so now that you know what your recipe criteria is and you've identified that, the next thing that you're going to do is grab the worksheet that says 21 favorite recipes, okay? Let me tell you what this means. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your list here of your recipe criterias and you're going to develop a list of recipes that you're already making for your family that meet your recipe criteria that says they're a good fit, okay? You're already making some recipes, right? Which recipes from that collection match your recipe criteria? You're gonna start writing those down and just write the name of them down. There's 2 lines given for each recipe. So you can write the name of it down and then write, you know, it's on a Pinterest board, or it's in my grandma's old cookbook, or it's in that recipe binder that I have. You can just make a note of where you can find it. You're not needing to write out the recipe right now. Once you write down all the recipes that you make that meet that criteria, now you're gonna go on a hunt to fill up this page with a total of, you want a total of 21 recipes. Why 21 recipes? Okay, number one, yes, there is the thing that people say we're 21 days to a new habit. So once you've been doing something for 21 days, typically you can create a new habit in that amount of time. So that's great. That's an added benefit. But the real reason that we're making a list of 21 recipes that meet our recipe criteria is because if you have 21 recipes on here, then you have 3 solid weeks, weekends included, of recipes without repeating a recipe once, okay? Here's why this is important. I hear a lot of women say, my husband feels like I only make the same things over and over again and he's tired of them. Or kids say, mom just makes the same recipes all the time. I get so tired of blah, 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 blah. Okay, when you have a list of 21 recipes, you now have 3 weeks worth of meals, 3 weeks worth of meals that do not repeat themselves at all. Okay, so now you're on the road to success. Now there should be no problem when you are sitting down to create your meal plan for the week, for 2 weeks, or what have you, that you know your criteria and you've got a list of recipes right here that meet that criteria. So you are setting yourself up for success, okay? There is absolutely no reason why you can't meal plan now that you have 21 recipes. Now, that doesn't mean that we're stopping at 21 recipes. This is just where we're starting. All right, so your next thing is to now start looking in other places. Once we get to 21, start looking in other places for more recipes that meet that criteria. Maybe you create a Pinterest board that's dedicated to just those recipes. So you're looking on Pinterest, you're looking on websites, crystalandcomp.com. I have a ton. I'll leave a link below to my index of all of my easy recipes so that you can have them and you can go through them and see which ones of those meet your criteria. But now there's absolutely no reason why you can't get dinner on the table, okay? Because you are equipping yourself with the tools that you need to make that happen. As time goes on and as you're at the doctor's office and you see a magazine and there's recipes in there, or you're at the nail salon or you're getting a pedicure and there is a Southern Living magazine there and you start looking at recipes, I was just doing this the other day, you're looking at those and you're saying, are these recipes, before I take a picture of them on my phone, are these recipes that meet my criteria? If they're not, they become holiday special occasion recipes. If they meet your criteria, they are perfect for your weekly meal plan, okay? You're gonna start asking friends and asking ask your mom and your grandma, go through old cookbooks that you have, and let's continue to expand this list out. We don't have to get to 100 recipes. You can if you want. That may be very simple for you to do, but the main goal is to get to 21. Start with the recipes you already make. Get as many recipes as you possibly can so that you have a stockpile of things that you can come back to so that you're not making the same things over and over and over again. Now that said, you're probably gonna find that your family likes, I pretty much make the same 21 recipes over and over again. But there are 3 weeks in between those recipes being made again. And that doesn't mean that we never ever eat out. We eat out often on Sundays because we go to church and then we go eat out. Or during the week, my husband and I might have a date night once every other week. And when we have a date night, we order pizza for the kids and the sitter. So this is not saying, you're not limiting yourself to only 21, but we're starting with 21 recipes. And this doesn't mean that you're gonna make over the next year 100 different recipes, but you've got your stockpile here so that you're prepared and ready to get dinner on the table, okay? The next thing that I want you to do is, and you You might think, Crystal, I do not want to do this. This is going to be a lot of tedious, busy work. This is something you can do once or twice a year. Is really the big time investment, once or twice a year. And then in between grocery shopping, it's just kind of maintenance work, okay? And that is, you're gonna grab the worksheets in your pack that are, there's 3 of them. They are fridge inventory, freezer inventory, and pantry inventory. And why do we do this? We do this because before we go to the grocery store, we are going to shop our pantry, shop our fridge, and shop our freezer first. And that's gonna save us money in more ways than one, okay? So what I want you to do, you can actually take these and put them into like these types of sleeves here, the little plastic sleeves, and that way you can just use a dry erase marker on them, or if you don't want to use a dry erase marker on them, that plastic sleeve will keep it looking good longer. You can, the one for your pantry, you can paste it inside your pantry door. The one in your freezer, you can paste, you know, hang these with washi tape somewhere in your kitchen, or you can put them in a recipe or a home binder that you might have, okay? But what we're gonna do is the first time we do this, we're gonna spend, it might take you 30 minutes, it might take you an hour to go through and make an inventory of what you have in all of these places. So for me, I buy a lot of stuff in bulk. You'll see that when you see my Costco grocery hauls, I buy lots of things in bulk. So I know that the unit price is always going to be cheaper the more that I can buy at one time. So I might buy, you know, 30 chicken breasts at one time, and 10 pounds of hamburger meat, and 4 packages of bacon, because that's how they're sold at Costco. And I will buy a box that has 12 cans of soup in it, and a box that has 10 cans of Rotel tomatoes, whatever it is. I know that buying those in bulk, I'm gonna save money, but sometimes it can be hard to keep up with exactly how much you have in your pantry or in your fridge or in your freezer. So this allows you to map all of that out. The beauty of using a dry erase option and putting this in a dry erase or a sleeve that you can use a dry erase marker on is you can easily change your quantities here. But even if you don't do that, you can just use a pencil, change the number, put a slash, and take it from 6 breasts down to 4 or whatever it is, okay? But what's going to happen now is before you go to the grocery store, you are now very, very easily going to be able to shop all of those places, shop your home first before you go and spend money. Because there is no reason in going to the grocery store and buying more cream of mushroom if you already have 8 cans in your pantry. There's just no reason to do that. So now you're spending money that you didn't need to spend, right? But also, if you do your grocery shopping and then you get home and you realize, I thought I had, how often does this happen? It happens to me from time to time. It is so frustrating. If I'm not keeping up with this, this will happen. I get home and I think that I had cream of chicken, and I'm like, it was all cream of mushroom. Oh my goodness. That's why we need to keep up with this, okay? So spend some time going through those places and mapping all of this out now. And then as you start to bring more groceries in, it's very easy to say, like, you know, this grocery haul, I brought in another case of green beans. So now I have 12 more things, or 12 new things of green beans. I was out, now I can add that from 0 back to 12. I know that I have frozen broccoli. I've got 4 1-pound packs of broccoli in the freezer. So I can quickly add those things to the list, and then I can quickly mark them and move the number down as I'm using them up, okay? So spend some time and do those 3 so that it makes the next step that much easier. So the next step is making your grocery list. Never, ever, ever. This sounds so simple. You're gonna be like, oh my goodness, Crystal, you do not have to remind me to make a grocery list. But let me tell you, do not go to the grocery store without a grocery list. Whether you compile this in an Excel spreadsheet, whether you compile this in a shared document that you and your family share. Some people do that. Everybody gets to add things to the shared doc that is on Google Drive or whatever, or maybe you have a running grocery list on your refrigerator door and you're adding to it as you use up the things that were from your inventories, right? However you want to do it, it doesn't matter, but do not go to the grocery store or do online grocery shopping without a grocery list. And here is why. Because you think you know what you're gonna buy. I was just talking to someone today she was at the MOPS talk that I did a few days ago, and I saw her today at church, and she said, oh my goodness, it's working, it is working. And you're so right. To be able to have a grocery list where I'm not just going down the grocery aisles and buying what I think I'm going to make, maybe then you don't buy all the ingredients needed to make what you think you're gonna make, or you're like, what did I buy these breadcrumbs for? I totally forgot what I was gonna make with that, right? That happens. It happens to all of us if we're not prepared. And that's why these tools are here. So having the grocery list does a couple of things. Number one, we're not going to buy things that we already have on hand at home, which means now we're not gonna spend money on things that we already had, right? I didn't need to buy more cream of chicken because I had cream of chicken, okay? But also it means that we're not going to forget things that we need, requiring us to then go back to the grocery store for another trip, which then, let me ask you something. How often do you go into the grocery store and you're like, I need milk? You walk in, you get milk, and you leave. That never happens. Don't lie to me. I know it does. It is so hard to do that. That requires so much discipline. It is so difficult to do. What happens is you didn't buy the cream of chicken or the cream of mushroom or the breadcrumbs or enough milk or the sour cream or whatever it was that you needed for a recipe this week, and now you've run back into the store. It is impossible to go in and buy one thing and come back out, and then the end cap for impulse shoppers gets you. And then I might as well go down that aisle and get some Captain Crunch, or I'm gonna go ahead and get a tub of ice cream because I'm here, I might as well get it. And now you are busting your grocery budget. Don't do that. So now you're overspending because it is impossible to go back in that store and only get that one thing. Trust me, I know, don't even lie to yourself, okay? So always shop with a grocery list, even if you are shopping online, all right? Let's talk about online grocery shopping. Personally, I absolutely love using Walmart.com. I use that for my in-between, I call it filler grocery hauls. I will either run into Sprouts or I will do online Walmart.com. Now, if you've never done Walmart.com before, I have a link below where you can sign up and you will get, I think you get $10 off of your first order of a certain amount. So if you've never done it before, click on that and sign up for it. Personally, so Walmart offers two options. They offer Walmart pickup or Walmart delivery. I personally love the delivery because I am so busy. Y'all are busy too, okay? Let me just say this, a Walmart grocery delivery service costs the same for a year as it costs for Amazon Prime, okay? Actually, it's less. It's significant, it's quite a bit less. So I believe Amazon Prime is now $129 a year. And right now you can get Walmart grocery delivery for under $100 a year. I want to say right now they're running it for $89, and you get the first 30 days for free to try out. And if you hate it and don't use it, then you can cancel. Grocery pickup from Walmart is free. As far as I know, it's always free, except for if you go in and you're needing to get your order in 1 or 2 hours, then they charge you a rush fee. But you'll see that those fees will be on the screen before you even check out, so you'll know. I used to love grocery pickup from Walmart, but now I really love grocery delivery. I find that paying that annual fee is totally worth it to have them delivered to my door, so that in between meetings and in between homeschooling and in between raising all these kids in the busy life, we can just get the groceries, bring them in, and put them away. And I've paid the fee for the delivery one time for the year. Now, it is nice to tip. You do not have to pick with Walmart pickup, but it is nice to tip for the Walmart delivery, just the same as you would tip if somebody was delivering you pizza, right? All right, so here's a couple more things I want to say about why I think online grocery shopping is great. Number one, you do not check out until the budget is right. So when you're at the grocery store, you may find yourself having to walk through the store with a calculator in your hand to make sure that you don't overspend. That's fine. If that's what you need to do, that's fine. The beauty of online grocery shopping is you are not checking out until that number at the bottom, when it's time to check out, is where you need it to be. It's so much easier to take something out of your cart online than it is to have to take it back to the, take it and put it back where it was at the grocery store, or then you get distracted and you find something else impulsively that you want to buy. It is just so much easier to do it online. But also, the big thing about online grocery shopping, it cuts out the impulse shopping. There is no end cap there. You do not have to walk down the cereal aisle. You do not have to walk down the cookie aisle. You type in the things that you need and you buy them. You type in the things that you need based on your grocery list. Your grocery list is based on what wasn't in your fridge, pantry, or freezer. And your grocery list is also based on the 21 recipes that you've put here and the ones that are coming onto your meal plan for this week, which is based off of your recipe criteria, right? Simple steps. This is not rocket science, but it works, and each step builds off of the step before it. So make your grocery list, work off of your grocery list, this is going to keep you on budget. Okay. All right. So now that you've put your grocery list together and you are ready to go to the grocery store, or you are ready to submit your online grocery order, now you can display your menu. Okay. This doesn't have to be hard. This can be easy. You can use papers to do that. You can meal plan. You can use beautiful dry erase boards that you might put on your refrigerator. I have a friend that we've been friends since the 6th grade, and she's just used, I remember back in the day, I assume she still does this, she used a piece of construction paper or a piece of notebook paper, and she would just write out her list of recipes. She would do it for a whole month. She was a large family as well. She would map out or write out all the recipes she was going to make, and then as she made them, she would just mark them off on her list. But I am giving you 3 different options here on paper that you can use for free. Makes it super easy. And number 1, here is a weekly meal plan sheet. I prefer to meal plan weekly. It is overwhelming for me to do more than 1 week at a time. That doesn't mean that I'm terrible at meal planning. That doesn't mean that I'm not smart. It means that this is what I can handle, so this is what I do. This is what's less overwhelming to me, so this is what I do. So if you do the weekly meal plan option, it gives you a place for breakfast, lunch, snacks, and dinner. I do advise that you incorporate snacks into your meal plan if you're giving your kids snacks. So if your kids come home from school and have an after school snack, that needs to be worked into your meal plan. Otherwise, you're having to make a quick trip to Target or to Walmart or to Costco or whatever to buy snacks for the kids. It's part of your meal plan, okay? It needs to be part of your grocery trip. If you are a person who homeschools and you've got to pack a snack, or I'm sorry, if you're a person who homeschools and you know that you're gonna have a snack during the day, that needs to be a part of your meal plan. If you're gonna pack your kid with a snack for the after school program, that needs to be a part of your meal plan. So we've given you a spot for that on this weekly list. You can use that. If you're a person who gets paid every other week, it might be most important for you to do a bi-weekly meal plan, and we have a list here for you to do that as well. So actually the way that this bi-weekly meal plan planner works, there's a place for you to write which week it's for up here. This is perfect for anyone who gets paid every other week. And then you've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner 2 times, 1 for each week, and then it's Sunday through Saturday listed over and over again. So you'll write Sunday through Saturday what your breakfasts are, Sunday through Saturday what your lunches are, what your dinners are. That's for week 1. And then week 2, same thing, Sunday through Saturday what your breakfasts are, lunch are, etc. And then you've got a place down here for your weekly snacks as well. Okay, so this is perfect for the bi-weekly meal planner. If you're a person who gets paid once a month, or you're a person who likes to knock out all of your grocery shopping at once and plan out your meal planning all at once for the month, we have this nice little grid here where you can map out your monthly meal plan. The boxes are big enough so that you can write breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks for each of those. And there's also a place at the top for you to write which month this is for. Now, if you don't want to put it on paper, I love putting it on paper because then I can just put it on my refrigerator, mark it off as I go. Personally, for me, I don't create my meal plan based on the days of the week. I map out, I know this week I need to cook 6 times because we're gonna eat out on Sunday, for example. So, or maybe I need to only cook 6 times because one day this week we're gonna have leftovers and we just clean out the fridge and eat up all the leftovers. I call that leftover buffet. I do not say this is what we're having on Sunday, this is what we're having on Monday. I just write out the total. I know I need 6 recipes. Here's the 6 things I'm making. I write them out, and then as I make them, I mark them off. So I don't like to be controlled with my meal plan. I want to lead my meal plan. I need some structure. I've got the meal plan, but I don't want you to tell me, or I don't want anyone telling me what days I have to eat what. So if I know that today is Sunday, and I know that tomorrow we're gonna have chicken baked potatoes, then I'm gonna go ahead and lay out my chicken now and put it in the fridge and have it defrosting, which I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in a bit. And then tomorrow morning I know that I need to get the chicken going in the slow cooker and I need to get my potatoes going in another slow cooker, okay? But I know what I'm up against. And it wasn't assigned to Monday, but I decided that sounds good, and that's what I'm gonna have tomorrow. That's on the list, that's what we'll do tomorrow. And then maybe I've got a freezer meal in the freezer that I made a month ago, and let's say it's tater tot casserole. I'm gonna plug that in. I know it's on my list, and Tuesday night I'm like, you know what, tomorrow's Wednesday, that sounds good for dinner. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out and put it in my refrigerator and let it start defrosting, or you know, however you defrost your stuff, okay? Other ways that you can map out your meal plan are things like, this is a magnet that goes on your refrigerator. I bought the cool, I haven't used this in a while. I used it for a bit of time. It didn't last long for me because the markers, I hated the way that the markers were. But basically you can just write on here what week this is for, and then you use the cool fluorescent looking markers and you map out, again, even though this says Monday, that's really may not be what I served on Monday. But I've got the verde tacos, I'm gonna have salmon, we're gonna have a taco bar, we're gonna have turkey spaghetti, you know, whatever they are. And then there's a place for notes and a place for, to start maybe making your grocery list for next week or what have you. You can find things like this on Amazon. I will link to one below. That's a fun thing to do for your meal plan. I really like this. This is something that I bought at Target. It is mapped out Sunday through Saturday, but again, you don't have to pay attention to the days of the week if you don't want to. And I just write out, we're having brisket, walking tacos, salsa chicken bowls, pesto meatloaf turkey, or turkey pesto meatloaf, spaghetti. I know we're gonna eat out one day this week, and then we're gonna have taco soup. And this actually Velcros, and it goes on the side of my refrigerator, and I can reference back to it. I go through seasons of using this a lot. I go through seasons of just writing it on a list. I also go through seasons of, this is what I'm using mostly right now. This is my productivity planner that I got from Jordan Page, which is Fun, Cheaper, Free. I love this thing because I'm a work-at-home mom and because I'm a busy mom. I work in blocks and I block things and group them, and then I have a rolling block schedule. So I put everything into blocks, and I know that in the morning I need to do these things, and then what doesn't get done gets moved at the end of the day. What doesn't get done gets moved to the next day. But in this book, so there's sections for mapping out your work day, right? Or your work or your mom day, what have you. But she also has pages in here for mapping out your meal plan. And I love this. I use this often because this works for me right now because I am so tied to my productivity planner that it works so easy to just go ahead and do my meal planning in here, okay? So that's another option as well. So it doesn't matter how you're gonna display your meal plan. Years ago, my way of displaying it for a while was simply in a blog post on my blog. That's part of how I started writing about meal planning over on crystalandcomp.com. It was just that simple to put it into a blog post. So whatever it is, however you're gonna display it, the next time that you're at Michael's or at Target or at Walmart, look in their dollar section and you will likely find little small dry erase boards that are for meal planning, especially at the beginning of the year, because that's a New Year's resolution, is to eat at home more and to cut back on your budget. Also back to school time, you will find them. I find them at Michael's and at Target during those times of the year, and it'll be for $1, sometimes for $3. It may be a tablet that has a magnet on the back that you can put on your refrigerator, or it may be a dry erase. I've had both of the types that I've gotten from both of those places. They're super cheap, and it's a great way to get started with displaying your meal plan and seeing if that works for you, okay? All right, in the pack, I also give you a sheet for you to write out recipes so that you have them, because remember, you're going to be collecting your 21 recipes. So you can take these recipes that you are mapping out, and you can take all of your meal planning pages, and if you want to, you can make a recipe binder. Just buy a 3-ring binder, buy some dividers. You know, one divider, this is where all the breakfast recipes are gonna go. This divider may be where all the snack recipes go, dinner, lunch, special occasions, what have you. And then you've got the clear little sheets in here, and any recipe that you print off from Pinterest, you slide it in here under the correct category that it needs to go under. I am dropping this. I am so sorry. You can also hold one of these divider sections to store all of your worksheets so that you have them on the ready, so that when you sit down to do your meal planning, you can sit down with your binder and all of your things all at once, and you have everything collected all together. When should you start meal planning? You should start now. You do not have to wait for a Sunday. You do not have to wait for the beginning of the month. You do not have to wait for your next payday. Start now. Start meal planning now. Start where you are at and just do it. I'm here to tell you, your kids do not expect you to be Iron Chef. I tell moms this all the time. They are not looking for a fancy meal. They would eat mac and cheese and chicken nuggets for the rest of their lives if you let them, right? They want dinner together around the table with their family, and you need to take the stress out of this. And how you're gonna do that is being planned. None of these steps are hard. None of these steps require you to do any special training outside of what I've told you here. It is all doable and manageable, okay? So you got your recipe criteria. You have your list of at least 21 recipes that meet that criteria. You've done your inventory so you know what you have on hand, and you can shop your kitchen, your pantry, your freezer, your fridge before you go to the grocery store. You've got your grocery list, you've got your meal plan, and you have written your meal plan out, and maybe you've put it on your fridge or what have you. Now what do? You just start, okay? So I kind of alluded to this a little bit ago, but what you're going to do is, or what I do is the night before, so let's say today is Sunday. What am I gonna be having for dinner tomorrow? Let's say that I have my things mapped out here. My options are salmon patties, crock pot cracked chicken. I've got potato soup, cauliflower soup, one or the other here. I've got a turkey veggie skillet, melt in your mouth chicken, and tacos. Those are on my list here. Tomorrow's Monday. Monday is going to be a crazy busy work day. I really need for things to be cooking while I am working and then doing schoolwork with my kids. So something that could go in the crock pot would be great, because the salmon patties are going to require me to, while salmon patties I don't have to defrost because I'm using canned salmon, the chicken I can throw in a slow cooker and walk away. No babysitting at all. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out, I'm going to go in my garage and get my chicken breasts, take them out. So I buy a mass quantity of frozen chicken breasts from Costco. I'll take out 3 or 4 if that's how many I need. And I will move them into their own little 1-gallon Ziploc bag like this. I have no idea what was in here. This was just laying here on my counter. And I will put them in there, and these are my defrosting containers. I have 2 of them. This is an old Tupperware marinating container that I have had for 20 years. And I ran it through the dishwasher on the bottom shelf multiple times and ruined it. So it doesn't work anymore. It's melted. The pieces are warped. They don't come together. So once that happened, these became my meal planning defrosting containers. So I will take that chicken, put it in a Ziploc bag, take that Ziploc bag, stick it in here, and I will put it in my fridge so that it can start defrosting overnight. Or I will, sometimes I will take it and put it in the container and set it on the counter while I'm getting dinner done and getting the kitchen cleaned up, and then I pop it in the fridge. I set it on the counter just to kind of give it a little head start. You don't have to do that. If you think that that is dangerous or scary, don't do it. Just put it in the fridge. You do what you need to do, but that's sometimes how I do it as well. And I've never ever had a problem with it. But figure out what your defrost containers are gonna be, or what your containers are gonna be that you're gonna put the things that you need. So I'm really just putting the meat that I need, because I freeze a lot of meat, into this. And I'm doing it the night before. So I know that tomorrow we're gonna have this crock pot chicken, and I would really prefer my chicken to be defrosted before I put it in the slow cooker. Now, you don't have to. I have cooked many meals with frozen chicken, but if my preference is for it to not be completely frozen, then I'm gonna start defrosting it the night before. So I stick it here, put it in the fridge, and then tomorrow morning, the guesswork is done. I already know what I need to do. I know that crock pot cracked chicken is what I'm making. I've got it here. I throw it and all the ingredients needed in the crock pot, forget about it, walk away, dump and go, and now I can proceed with my busy day, okay? And then dinner is ready when I'm ready and when my family is ready, right? Other things that I will do is I have been using, this is a thaw board. This looks terrible. I've had it, it is older than any of the children I have birthed. I have had this for close to 25 years. If not more. I think I actually bought it in like 1997. So, okay, I'm 45 people. So this, I do run it through the dishwasher, which is part of why it looks terrible. I'm not saying that you should run yours through the dishwasher, but it's never, I mean, I could say it's never hurt mine. It's fine, whatever. But if I am needing to defrost something fast, I will use this. Now, it's not lightning fast, okay? But if I have a pound, like a pound of ground beef that I forgot, or a pound of ground turkey that I forgot to defrost, I will take this container, set this in here like this. It doesn't fit perfect, but that's okay. I will set my ground turkey in the package still on here. I will actually turn it upside down so that all that's between the turkey and this defrost plate is the little bit of plastic covering on the top, and I will let this defrost for about an hour. Other things that you can do is defrost things in your microwave, or, you know, run it over some water or what have you. There are lots of different ways that you can do it, but I have had this thaw board for years and I have used it for years, and it does speed up the process of defrosting your meat. So that is an option as well. All right, what are some of the things that help me get dinner done fast? Number one, my Instant Pot. Let me show it to you. All right, I own multiple Instant Pots. This one is an 8-quart. I'm a big family. I need an 8-quart. I also have a 6-quart. I have done dinner in 2 slow cookers where I have rice cooking in one and my meat cooking in the other. 100% acceptable. I recommend it. It is fantastic. Pressure cookers are great. I love them. I cook rice pretty much exclusively in my Instant Pot. You can cook chicken very quickly in like 8 to 12 minutes in your Instant Pot. You can also, the other great thing about your Instant Pot is it can be used as a slow cooker, although I feel like a slow cooker does the job better. I'm just saying. I feel like an Instant Pot is best for pressure cooking, personally, but it does have the feature to slow cook as well. But you can also use it as a burner. So it has, most of them have the saute feature. So you are literally just, you're putting your insert in, and the heating element is down there at the bottom. You're putting your insert in, and then you're just putting it on saute, and you can use this as a skillet. Did you know that? You can. The things to remember about using your Instant Pot is, if a recipe says that it needs to cook for 30 minutes, that is your cook time only. That does not include your come to pressure time. The more fluid that is in here, the longer it's going to take for it to come to pressure. Okay, so if you're making soup in here and this is filled up, except up, you know, you only have like this much room that doesn't have liquid, it's going to take a long time for that to come to pressure. You'd probably be able to cook that quicker on your stovetop. But this is another one of those appliances that is great for dinner is done and now it's just waiting on you. So if there's some sides that you need to make, this is going to stay warm and stay kind of warm and cooking until you're ready to serve it to your family, until you make the side to go with it or the rolls or what have you, okay? But I do recommend every kitchen should have an Instant Pot. I use mine multiple times a week. I absolutely love it. It's a great way to get dinner done fast. And if quick and easy dinners is something, quick and easy one-pot dinners especially, or something that are on your meal plan, this is a great tool to invest in, okay? Now, what else do I love? I use my crock pot multiple times a week as well. I have multiple different crock pots. This one is a 7-quart. I have owned up to 8 quarts. I actually have a big roaster that fits a turkey in it. I have smaller ones as well. Did you know that crock pots actually make rectangle ones like casserole dishes? You can get these in all kinds of sizes, okay? My favorite ones are the 7 and 8 quarts and the ones that have this programmable temperature control here on the front. Here's why. You can get your dinner going in here and you can, different ones work differently. Some of them you can set for an exact time, like 7 hours. Some of them you're choosing between 4, 6, 8, or 10, but you choose your amount of time. And then when it's done, when it is done, it moves to warm and it keeps your food warm until you're ready to cook dinner. So again, this is done and waiting for you instead of you waiting for it. So now all you have to do is get your sides going, and it's keeping it at a warm, safe temperature that is fine for food, you know, for consuming food. You're not having to worry about, oh, that's been done for 2 hours and it didn't stay warm. It's keeping it warm. It moves automatically to the warm feature and stays there until you unplug it or turn it off, okay? So I feel like a slow cooker should be something that everybody has in their kitchen, but a slow cooker with a programmable or a digital timer, cook timer on the front, that really is the winner. I literally I have like 7 or 8 slow cookers. During Thanksgiving, I'm known to have slow cookers all throughout my kitchen doing all the things. I want you to remember anything that you can cook on the stovetop or in your oven can be cooked in your slow cooker. And pretty much the same goes for your Instant Pot. You can make dessert in here, you can make yogurt in here, you can make a casserole, you can make chicken, whatever. You can do it in your slow cooker. A couple of things that I want you to remember is it takes less energy, it consumes less energy to cook in your slow cooker. Also, I want you to remember that every time you take the lid off, you add 20 minutes of cook time to your meal. So you want to be very careful of that. Don't take the lid off. It has a clear lid. You can see in there. You can see what it's doing. Leave it alone. Let it cook. The other thing is the slow cooker works best when it is half to 3/4 of the way full. The fuller that you fill it, the fuller you fill it. The fuller it is, the longer it's going to take for something to cook. Okay, so just remember that. All right, so those are the 5 steps of meal planning. You are now equipped with everything that you need to get dinner on the table for your family, okay? The 5 steps that were super easy, let's recap them. Recipe criteria, 21 recipes at minimum that meet that criteria. An inventory of what you have on hand so that you don't overspend by either buying things that you already have or by forgetting things that you didn't have and having to go back to the store. Making your grocery list, never shop without a grocery list, and then displaying your menu and putting it to work, okay? You've done all of those things, you can successfully meal plan. The other thing that I'm gonna give you today, aside from being able to go to my site, crystalandcomp.com, and clicking on my recipe index and getting access to any recipe that you want on my site for free, I'm also going to give you one of my freezer meal plan packs. This is from February of 2019, but it is a fantastic pack that is full of great recipes that you will love. I am giving you the recipe for, so these are freezer meals. So you would sit down and make all of these. The idea is you would sit down and make all of these recipes at once and then put them in your freezer, and that way they're ready to go. It makes life so much easier to just go and pull something out of the freezer, start defrosting it, and make it for dinner. Dump it in the slow cooker, pop it in the oven, whatever, okay? But just because these were made to be freezer meals, you do not have to make them as freezer meals. You can make them as individual recipes for right now, one by one, if that's what you want to do. But you're going to walk away with 7 recipes right here in this pack. So chicken Alfredo lasagna, make any changes that you need to. If you want it to be, you know, a lower carb meal instead of the noodles, you could use zucchini noodles, like where you take zucchini and slice it out into strips like a lasagna noodle. If you want to pack it with more veggies, you can customize it however you want to customize it. And then we've got Mexican tater tot casserole, which is yummy. Dill pickle pot roast, which is yummy. Slow cooker smothered pork chops, that is a favorite at my house. Honey garlic pork chops, absolutely delicious. But remember, instead of, if you don't want to do pork, then switch out chicken thighs for your pork chops and do honey garlic chicken thighs. Like, you do what you want to do. You customize this how you want to. Breakfast enchiladas, who doesn't love breakfast for dinner? But also you can make these freezer meals to have for breakfast during the week because life is busy and crazy. Blueberry breakfast biscuits, those are fantastic. Make them in advance so that you can have them easy breakfast options during the week, or make them now and have them for breakfast today. You do it how you want to do it, okay? It also comes with a grocery list so that you can go through the grocery list, mark off what you already have on hand, and then you know what you need to buy in your grocery order online or in your grocery order when you go to the store. But I hope you enjoy these. That is 7 recipes that you can add to your meal plan for this week. So if any of those match your recipe criteria, you should add them to your meal plan, okay? All right, you can find more recipes from me that you can download at getdinneronthetable.net. I have tons of packs that have, some of them have 7 freezer meals in it. One pack that is all Whole30 recipes. One pack that is all slow cooker recipes, all Instant Pot, all recipes that are perfect for summertime so that you're not cooking inside and you can cook out on the grill. Like, we meet all the needs over at getdinneronthetable.net. You can download those recipes and get get busy adding them to your list of 21 recipes that meet your criteria. Okay guys, I hope that this has helped. I hope that now you feel empowered to get dinner on the table, empowered to save money at the grocery store, and empowered to feed your family and spend time together around the dinner table. I know you're gonna do great. I want you to remember, success brings more success. When you start feeling like you are succeeding at meal planning, you're gonna have momentum to keep going and keep going and keep going, so that you can keep feeding your family and you can keep saving money and you'll continue to be motivated to meal plan, okay? And don't forget to click the link to download all of these. We're gonna email them to you. We're gonna make it easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just enter your email and we will email all of it to you. All right, friend, you have a great rest of your day. Leave me a comment below and let me know what recipes you're putting on your meal plan. I would love to know. And yeah, happy meal planning. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Bye.